Okay, I'm going to just mention a couple little things first. When you first open up the hot tub, it's easier to peel back the corners to the cover because it's got elastic on it. And when you're closing it back up, it tends to
get caught,
push in on those folds, those flaps. I usually keep a rock on one corner or another because sometimes the wind blows hard enough that actually will pull the cover off.
And this cover is like an extra layer because of the sun. It destroys our hot tub covers.
I usually have one or both of these latched. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay, yeah. And the cover is damaged, the outside cover, because of hail and so forth and so on. Okay.
But I cleaned the filter, and it will need to be cleaned after it's been used a couple of times.
Okay.
Usually about once a week it has to be cleaned. So maybe you guys can clean it before you leave. You can take this little cup holder cover off. Then you just turn this little cover around to where it would come off. So that comes off.
Okay, you just set that to the side. Okay.
And then the filter is just, so you just kind of get a hold of that and pull it up out of there.
Okay.
Let it drip a little bit.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bring it over here. I'm just going to sit it on, I usually just sit it up here on a stone. And I'm going to use the hose. This is kind of like one of those, kind of a high pressure hose, but not too high. And usually I will keep the hose disconnected at this time of year in case it freezes. I do have it connected, but I am going to disconnect it because it gets freezing at night and I want to have that off. So I'm just going to turn the water on, and then this is how I clean out the filter.
Oh yeah, see that?
So it is dirty. We had grandkids in it in the last couple of days, so usually after you've been in it 2 or 3 times, it really needs to be cleaned. And that's probably the most important thing, is to keep the filter clean.
Wow.
So I just go around in the circle a couple of times until I feel like I've really got it rinsed out and cleaned off pretty good. Okay, that should be good enough. Just takes a few minutes. I'm going to turn it off. I let the water running because I want the water to run out of the hose. Again, I don't want anything freezing.
Okay.
Then whenever I put the filter back in, of course it just goes where it came from. But once you do that, it tends to float. And it doesn't want to go back down in there very easily. See, it's just floating. So I turn on the #1 jet, which is what circulates water through the filter. And then that will kind of suction it, pulls it back down in there. And then I just kind of position it so that it's kind of right there in the middle. And so that's the filter. Still got little grandkid toys in there. Then we're just in reverse, put everything back where it was.
Is that just turned? You put that in and then turned it?
It's got a flat spot. So you turn it to where the flat spot is, and that's how it comes out.
Okay. Well, obviously, if you have any trouble with that, put that in. And then what about the chemical?
The only thing I'm really going to ask people to do is after each use, after each time you've been in there, you should put some, this is the biggest container in there, it's the chlorinating granules. And I've got a little measuring cup here. And each time you use the hot tub, you should throw just kind of a little bit of a heaping.
Yeah, heaping, okay.
You know?
That's called shocking it, and then he cuts it.
And you know, it should just be done after each time you've been in it. I've got other chemicals that I will check periodically once in a while, but this is the main thing, and you really don't usually have to worry about anything else. Okay. So after each use, if you you do happen to decide you want to use it, and maybe you forgot, if you put the chlorinated granules in there, you should wait at least a half hour.
Yeah, don't get in for half an hour after
in.
you put it in, or you'll smell it'll be strong.
The chlorine will degrade, and it'll, even if nobody gets in the hot tub,
And
it'll
pull the
degrade
flaps
within
back.
a couple of days. So that's one of the things I have to do. So now you see, when I close it, I'm watching these flaps.
Yeah. Make
The
sure
other
they don't
thing
go.
that I'll tell you is that when you get in the hot tub and you want to open it up the rest of the way, the easiest thing to do is do that when you're inside the hot tub. I mean, I can kind of do it from back here, but it's easier to either take it out or bring it back down from the middle. So when somebody's the last person out,
Okay.
it's a good idea to do that.
Yeah, and don't leave it open because you know it's being heated. So
And then these flaps,
we'll use a
they
lot of
tend to want
electricity.
to go underneath, and it won't seal, so it uses more energy if it's not sealed.
Okay.
So I want to make sure those flaps back on the back and the front, but if you do it this way, makes it pretty easy.
Okay.
So then I make sure the flaps are on the outside.
Yeah.
And that's the main reason for doing the cover this way, because when you have the elastic holding it, then you're trying to figure out how to dig the flap back out.
And then just snap.
And then you just have to snap it. I usually put at least one or both of those.
Then we'll work on. We probably do both of them.
Probably.
Okay, and then
So if you can't quite get it, you just need to pull on the. And then I just have to pull the cover. As an old gray cover underneath. I still use it because it's better than nothing. The top one's kind of damaged too, but I'm not going to replace it till next year. And then when I get everything on, it's got that elastic, and that kind of holds everything in place.
Okay.
And then I usually stick a rock on top.
okay.
to hold it.
Is that it?